So the first thing you'll do is skip the cutscene when you enter the deep woods, and then begin rolling over. The cut here looks weird because those are two clips that are edited together so that I can actually show you a clip that gets the extending blow. Now, the first thing you want to do is just run over here near where this plant is, and then shoot the Bokoblin right here with a slingshot seed to stun it so it doesn't blow its horn to summon the other Bokoblin over here. Stand about here for shooting this Bokoblin, because this Bokoblin will always start in the exact same position when you load into the area. So we're going to try to use that same position to our advantage to achieve the extending blow, even though the extending blow is unfortunately not consistent in its own right. But you need to stand far enough away so that the Bokoblin doesn't notice you, and then shoot it with a slingshot seed also. So we're going to shoot it, and then once I know that the slingshot seed is going to connect and stun the Bokoblin, I begin rolling over again. I take out my sword, and then what's going to happen here is, or at least the way that the extending blow works, is that we want to knock this Bokoblin back, but keep it still alive, so that it lands on a very specific part of the ledge right here, where the game thinks that the Bokoblin is going to go over into the void and die anyway, but the Bokoblin ends up landing at the lip of the ledge instead, right? So the game is going to be like, okay, well, the Bokoblin's dead now, even though it's still up here, and you can still target it as it's down and like right before its body is about to explode into purple smoke. And you can still perform a final blow while that Bokoblin is dead. The way that the game handles this weird edge case is the position that it tries to calculate where Link is supposed to send his final blow to just ends up being all zeros, which in terms of a position is the origin of the map. Now, the origin of the map just so happens to be all the way over here that you can't really see because this root is blocking it at the beginning of Skyview Temple, and that's why Link flies all the way across the map when this trick is successful. Now, I should preface this by saying that this trick is completely RNG dependent, and the success rate with it is not very high, so you should not expect to be able to get this trick in. You should not be able to get this trick in runs consistently, like ever, unless we figure out RNG manipulation. So yeah, if you try this trick for the first time and you don't get it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, that's just the way it is. I would not recommend relying on this trick for your runs. With that said, though, I do think it's still important to know how to do it. So the way that I line this trick up is, first, we kind of want to set Link down right here, like where the grass and the stone pathing meets, and then begin targeting the Bokoblin. And you want to basically shift Link's stance so that his right foot, while his right foot is in front of his left foot, is standing about right here, where I'm circling around with my mouse right now. And then once Link's right foot is standing there, so I kind of shuffle a little bit more to the right here to put it in that position, just like that. What we're going to do is we're going to do a vertical slash to push the Bokoblin back just a little bit. And then after that vertical slash, we're going to do an overhead quick spin to knock the Bokoblin back, but still keep it alive because it takes 3 hits with the Goddess Sword to kill this Bokoblin. Right? So we raise the sword up, and then the first vertical slash motion is going to send Link forward a bit. That's just how the game works mechanically. So going to land that hit in. And then after that hit lands in, we're going to do the overhead quick spin. If you're too late with the overhead quick spin, or you're like too far back, because we are kind of, reaching at the edge of our range for our sword here, the Bokoblin's probably going to block your attack when you do the quick spin. In that case, like, don't try to do the extending blow, just go for the cube warp, which is explained in the next video. But if the Bokoblin doesn't block it, the overhead quick spin will successfully knock the Bokoblin back. And if RNG is nice to you, the Bokoblin will land at the back of the ledge right here. Now, what's RNG about this is how far back the Bokoblin travels when you hit it with an overhead quick spin, or any kind of quick spin, or like anything that knocks a Bokoblin back, right? The distance that the Bokoblin gets knocked back starts with a base distance, and then it chooses a random value, I believe from 0 to 40, and it will use whatever random value it chooses to add on to that base distance of how far back the Bokoblin gets knocked. Why that's RNG, I don't know. I didn't make this game. but that's what we have to deal with here. So if you do get lucky with your RNG, and the Bokoblin gets knocked back the proper distance, it'll hit the edge just like this. You'll notice that even though it hit the edge, it started to, like, you know, begin to, like, turn dark, indicating that it's about to die. And also another important thing, during this time, right after you do the quick spin, you want to hold forward and keep holding ZL so that Link can still be within target range of the Bokoblin. So you'll see right here that Link is moving forward. That's because we're holding forward so we can stay within targeting range. And then once you see the prompt for being able to do the final blow come up, just like this, that is when you want to then perform the inputs for the final blow, right? These inputs are not particularly precise. Like, if the trick is going to work at all, and Link does the final blow motion, then it's just going to work, right? Like, if you do this trick, but Link, like, just does a final blow to some position on the ledge here, or does a final blow into the void, that means that, like, your timing was perfectly fine, but you just didn't get good RNG. And that's going to happen a lot, right? So, and then once you perform the inputs, Link is going to fly all the way over here, over to the origin of the Skyview Temple, past everything. And then you just want to use the slingshot and shoot the crystal above the temple to get into Skyview Temple with the extending blow.